Am I the bad guy for telling my poor friend that he's actually the privileged one now? One of my very close friends, Nathan, and I met during our first post-college job at the prestigious finance firm, and we immediately bonded over the long work hours, shitty middle management, and general soul-sucking nature of making PowerPoint slides and Excel sheets all day. For the next few years, a lot of our friendship revolved around us making about work and how much we hate it. A few years ago, I decided that I just couldn't take the corporate grind anymore, and I quit my job to move into the non-profit world. While I now certainly make less than I would have at my old job, I'm exponentially happier, healthier, and absolutely love the work that I do. I also still make a very good salary, like $80K per year, which I feel is more than enough money for me and my needs. Nathan has been ambitiously climbing the corporate ladder and recently become a VP at his firm. He makes well over 300K a year. Nathan grew up in a very poor family, and his relatives are still financially unstable and often ask him for money. I, on the other hand, grew up in a comfortable upper middle class suburb with parents who have always been financially stable. They're not millionaires, but if anything ever happened to me, they could and would help me until I could get back on my feet. Nathan does not have that privilege. I recently got offered my dream job, where I will be making slightly less money than I am now. Despite the money, I was genuinely giddy about this job prospect and was pumped to tell my friends. However, when I told Nathan, his response was, "I'm glad you have the financial privilege to take a pay cut." Now, wow, ancient Mesopotamia, I know you've been really wanting this job for months now and have told me all about how excited you are about it. Congratulations! Or anything along the lines. I will admit that I snapped back at him and told him that he makes triple the amount of money I do, and that at some point he needs to realize he's now got privilege of his own instead of pointing out mine. The conversation got a bit heated, and we agreed to hang up and cool off before talking it over later. Now I'm wondering if I should apologize to Nathan for what I said, or if I should stand my ground. I'm feeling angry and a bit defensive, which I realize is exactly the reason that a spoiled rich kid will have. However, I also do think it was a bit mean of him to say that at that exact moment when I was so excited. And while generational wealth does give privilege that income allows does not, he literally does make over triple the amount of money that I now make. So it seems a tiny bit hypocritical for him to be calling me privileged. Also, as a final note, while my parents certainly are well off, they do not support me financially in any way and have not since I graduated from college 7 years ago. So I'll leave the judgments to you all. Am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for not accepting my dad's bride? About 4 weeks ago, my older sister, Sarah, had to empty out her apartment and move all her things back home. Her rent had increased a lot, and her landlord was slow in making repairs. Our parents offered to store most of her belongings in our basement until she finds a new place to live in for when she starts school again in the fall. Our house basement has kind of been my professional space, where I usually hang out with my friends or play video games. However, with Sarah's things are taking up nearly all the space, and there is no longer any space for me and my buddies. I understand she's in a tough spot, but I'm becoming more annoyed with this. Yesterday evening, I sat down with my dad and told him that I needed some space in the basement. My dad listened and said that he acknowledged my situation. He said that he understood the inconvenience, but kept mentioning that Sarah was in tough spot and that the arrangement was temporary. When I pointed it's been 4 weeks, he again asked for my patience. When I tried to continue the conversation, my dad interrupted me. He suggested that he could pay me rent for the basement and allow Sarah's belongings to stay there. He started pulling out his wallet and everything. I was annoyed by this, and as I thought he was being dismissive and I refused his offer. My dad was pretty surprised by this and rescinded his offer and apologized for not fully listening to me. He then said that he was serious about paying me for the remaining time that the basement was being occupied. But I yelled at him saying that he had completely missed it, what I was telling him. He got frustrated and said that I needed to be more empathetic. When I tried to speak up again, he told me that there was no longer anything to discuss. I'm not the bad guy here. I'm not the bad guy for refusing to attend the lecture from my in-laws. My husband and I were gifted a trip last Christmas by my in-laws. We are the only non-retired or non-teachers in the family, so our ability to take 2 weeks vacations is a no-go. In-laws decided to book the trip the week before our anniversary and included Father's Day as they anticipated us all driving and caravanning together. We decided to fly instead. They chose displeased them as they need to help transport some of our things since we have 2 children. Leading up to the trip, husband and I became concerned with using an entire week of vacation, of which we do not have much, to spend a week in Florida watching kids 24/7. We asked to bring our nanny. Yes, we are privileged and we acknowledge that. We offered to pay for her flights, food, and money for entire large place to stay in our own place, or money to supplement the fact she will be there. We were told no 4 times. No matter what accommodation or compromises we tried to make, we were told no, family only, even though for us our nanny is family. We asked for a sit-down meeting to discuss some of our concerns prior to the trip. At meeting, we were told we were manifesting problems that did not exist and we were going to make them happen. We were told they plan on taking the kids every second of the day. If we wanted it, will be totally relaxing for us. A nanny isn't family and not allowed to go. The trip went exactly as expected. We were up at 6 and each one of us had 1 kid pretty much the whole day. My in-laws mainly took our niece. Our mother-in-law was relaxing at the beach. It was beautiful to see our kids happy, but it was not relaxing. My son asked if my mother-in-law always had the baby, and where was nanny? My husband said we were going to hire a babysitter while there, and his parents demanded a conversation outside. When pictures didn't go as planned because they insisted on a time after my daughter's bedtime, so she flipped out. That was also our fault. 1 week before his birthday, they demanded we go to their house on Sunday afternoon to talk. He refused to tell us why. My husband tried to get an answer, which led to him asking if it was a lecture. The response was yes, because we were acting as teenagers. My husband said he was too stressed. House damage, issues at work, having 2 toddlers, and not interested in being treated as a child. Father-in-law insisted on scheduling the convo anyway. Husband hung up and did tell them to hell off if that's how they were going to act. Since then, my mother-in-law is posting non-stop about us being narcissists and thinking life is all about us. They didn't wish him a happy birthday. He asked for a break if this was how they were going to treat him, but he didn't ask to be treated like he didn't exist. So are we the bad guys? Are we the narcissists? I'm not the bad guy for ordering more food after I heard we were splitting the check. So, me and a few friends went to celebrate a mutual friend for his birthday. It was organized by his partner, and we were planning on going to a kind of upscale restaurant in our city. Think suit and tie dress code enforced. I show up with my girlfriend and we were having a good time. We checked the prices beforehand, and me and my girlfriend set a budget we wouldn't go over since we have other priorities besides dumping it all on a dinner party. We ordered the food and are having a good time. We stay under budget, but I notice my friend's partner continually ordering more and more expensive drinks and foods. I don't think much of this since it's his partner's birthday, but when the bill comes, the table of 10 is suddenly told the gifts we're expected to give us to split the check. Now it's my friend's birthday, and I've known him for close to a decade. I would have been fine splitting his bills however expensive it should be. To put it into perspective, me and my girlfriend bill came out to just under $200, give or take. The entire bill was nearing $800, and they still wanted to get dessert. I noticed me and my girlfriend had the last amount of food and didn't get multiply appetizers, drinks, etc. The thing is, I know I'm more financially stable than my friends my age, since I really just had the cosmic luck of landing a decent job for our school. So I could or contributed, but frankly, I felt this was a trap to get me to pay more than we budgeted. If they communicated prior to the dinner as an obligation, that's one matter, but suddenly tells us after everyone is melted down eating dinner seems sketchy. At the very least, I had a quick text conversation with my girlfriend, and we both decided to order expensive dessert, raising the price even more. Now suddenly, when the bill comes, some people, especially my friend's boyfriend, doesn't have enough money to pay the equal between everyone. They start bickering in a public restaurant, and my friend accused me of initially raising the bill outside of the budget. I countered with how it was kind of rude to just expect people to pay stuff for him. And he said it's his birthday. To keep the peace, I paid for only his meal, but left his drink and dessert tab for everyone else to split. I left with my girlfriend and paid our bills. When we were leaving, they were still arguing over the bill. That was yesterday. I woke up this morning to find out on multiple social media how I'm such a terrible person, how I raised the bill by ordering extra food. Mind you, they were all planning on desserts while we weren't. My girlfriend says, I did the moral thing paying for my friend's food, but I'm livid. I got peer pressure into it. I'm not the bad guy here. I'm not the bad guy for not sharing knowledge while splitting an inheritance, causing my sister to get a worse deal. My mother loved fashion and really enjoyed dressing up. Her passion definitely inspired me to pursue a career in fashion, and I currently work for a luxury jewelry designer. My sister Ashley, on the other hand, went a more traditional road. She always looked down on me, starting even from high school when I was preparing my portfolio for art school, making comments about how I get the color while she had to do actual work like study math. This behavior has never really changed, which has caused us to be somewhat estranged. Anyways, before passing, my mother brought Ashley and I together to her safety deposit box to split up her jewelry. Ashley immediately wanted the biggest blindy pieces. This is where I might be the bad guy. I let her fight me for it, knowing that she was arguing over costume jewelry. My mother had a select few pieces of fine jewelry that were more dainty, so I let my sister think that I was getting the smallest leftover pieces. She's always been preoccupied with getting the biggest and best for herself all our lives, so let her think she was doing the same now. Fast forward to now. I was wearing one of my mother's pieces at my aunt's birthday party. She began to reminisce over the piece. I guess they bought it together, and it slipped out just how valuable the piece was. My sister overheard and was livid. She insisted on going through my pics and wanted to re-split up the pieces. I said no, and she had a meltdown at the birthday party. Our brother said I was a bad guy for using my knowledge as a jeweler against family, but he always takes her side, so I'm taking the issue here for a different option. I normally wouldn't care, but now a bunch of family is poking their noses into it, and I'm feeling torn between how I feel and what others are saying about me. So please help me. I'm at the bad guy for embarrassing my sister at her engagement party by uncovering her lies about our childhood. Yesterday was my sister's engagement party. Me and my two brothers, one is 22, two of us are 21, have been on the other side of US for the majority of 2023 and didn't think we were going to be there for the party. But plans shifted and we ended up arriving home last Wednesday. Now I'm honestly not sure if I was invited so much as we simply happened to live where the event has been hosted, because it was held in my parents' house. My sister didn't outright say she didn't want us there, but we didn't see much of her in the lead up. We didn't really know any of the people at the party, so we are going around introducing ourselves to people, molding, doing the party thing. At some point, somehow mentioned the family photos on the wall and how they were supposed to see a ton of us on the wall when they didn't even know my sister had siblings. This sent me down a whole rabbit hole of confusion. This person elaborated and said she was surprised to see this type of photo on the wall because apparently my sister has told all of her friends that my parents were extreme workaholics. We have a really nice house, so they weren't surprised by that, just that it felt properly homey and live-in. Once again, I was thrown for a loop. Growing up, our home was the house. We had friends over constantly who were basically like extra siblings. My parents worked at the normal amount and they were home with us as much as possible. We got chauffeured around to sport practicals. My parents took the time to get to know all of our friends well, etc. I will even go so far as to say they were more involved in our lives than average. It was my sister who really separated herself from everyone and chose to exclude herself from activities. At some point during this conversation, a few other people overheard, and soon enough, there was a dozen crowd of her friends around my brother and I, listening to stories of us growing up that were blowing those people's mind because it's apparently common knowledge among their friend group that our parents were so hands-on. And come on, knowledge that we even existed. I ended up having a really good time and felt like I made some new friends. After the event, apparently my sister was crying because I embarrassed her in front of all the friends and that the work she had put in to separate herself from us golden children has been undone. So, am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for not wanting to invite my brother's girlfriend to a party because I think she will make everyone uncomfortable? My family, parents, brother, and his girlfriend are currently on holiday in Europe for the summer. We have been on holiday for 2 weeks now. My brother Logan has brought along his girlfriend for 9 months there. Logan is doing an internship in Boston, and that is where he met Leah, who has just graduated from college. We met her for the first time in London, which is where we all met before starting the holiday. Leah is nice, but in the past 2 weeks, me and my parents, have found it a bit weird to go places with her because she always so excited about everything. For example, while waiting for our flights out of the UK, she went around the whole airport lounge filming and narrating it, even though there were other people sitting in trying to mind their own business. She squealed loudly like a toddler when the plane took off. Every day she asks my mom and me if she can take pictures of our outfits to post on social media or films our walking around like those candid videos people post online. She gushes about everything. Like I said, she's a nice girl, but being around her is what I imagine being on a holiday with your own fan is like. If you were a celebrity, there is a reason I made this comparison. We are now in continental Europe, in an area where Logan and I have mutual friends, and I'm organizing a boat outline in a couple of days' time, which will include a couple of mutual friends, one of my friends and 2 of his friends that I don't know very well, who are professional sportsmen. Yesterday, I spoke to Logan and said I really wasn't feeling good about Leah coming. She has made things so awkward on a number of occasions, and that's just with family. I can't imagine our friends want to spend all day with someone who acts like they've never seen a boat before. On top of that, I'm potentially exposing people I don't know very well to a fangirl, and to someone who has very few boundaries about what she puts on social media. As a host, I think that's irresponsible. Logan didn't take well to my concerns. He said he doesn't know what he's supposed to tell Leah and that he was looking forward to seeing our friends. He said I'm being unfair and not giving Leah a chance to adjust. My mom is on my side and thinks Leah and Logan should do something else on that day and Logan can organize a separate dinner with his friends. My dad thinks Logan and I should sit down with Leah and explain what we expect behavior-wise if she wants to come to the outing and have her not bring her phone if necessary. But I think he's being a bit self-serving since he's been begging Logan to talk to her about her behavior for a week. I just think that since it's my plan, I'm kind of responsible for everyone's comfort, and it's just easier for everyone to go with my mom's plan. Logan is mad at me for putting him in this position. So am I the bad guy here?